Three, two, one.
Mr. Producer, got all them hoes. Here we go. Ready? Mr. Producer. Now we're live. All right, let's see if they can see us over here. Oh! Yep, we got audio, that's for sure.
Boom.
We got Boba Fett in the chat already. He said, let's go, gentlemen. Boba Fett's
Oh,
always riding for the boys.
dialed,
Dialed in.
dialed.
Boba Fett just had his biggest live stream of all time on Sunday. He killed it.
That's what I heard. Peaking.
Peaking. Yeah, no, he's just getting
Local,
started.
local top.
Local, yeah. Not a cycle top. That's a local top.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boba Fett's heating up a little bit. His stream was good. On Sunday, he went live at around 10 a.m. and I think he got 11 live viewers at once.
He's experiencing higher highs and lower lows. Or
Yeah,
higher highs, higher lows.
yeah.
He's trending up.
But Bobby's in a structured uptrend right now. He's
Yeah. He's about to put in a meat stick.
yeah. He's gonna have a blow off top on one of these streams. 100 live viewers all of a sudden.
Blow off Boba Fett meat stick top.
When you have the blow off top, Bobby, you gotta show the hog. You gotta show him the meat stick. Get banned off YouTube.
Meat stick on live stream.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll show him the real meat sticks. All right, anyways. So
Is
All
it
right.
over?
Yeah, is it over yet? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I know you guys have been clamoring. You've been dying to get us back on the stream because it's just too much juice, too much alpha, too much money-making opportunities get put out on these streams. And so, we came back. We're here for you guys. We're going to give you some of that juice. This is the Ultimate Market Professionals. We're going to talk about crypto, some legacy markets, but we're going to focus on crypto for the most part. And before we get into the juice, I just want to let everybody know, you guys know from every stream, we have the Taylor's Code, okay? So that's our private group and organization where we network, educate, develop people, and show them how to make money in all different realms. So sales, crypto, e-commerce, affiliate marketing, whatever it is that you want to learn in order to make money ASAP, we're teaching that inside. Also, inside of the Taylor's Code in the classroom, we also have a course called the Private Crypto Plays, which is basically once you get inside of that course, you get access to myself, Bobby, Logan, the rest of us who are trading what we're trading on a day-to-day basis and being able to actually copy trade us so that you can start to make the money that we're making and have access to the information that we have, which is obviously at a very high level considering how long we've been doing this and the people that we have access to in the industry ourselves. So take advantage of that because I assure you it's going to be the best investment you ever make. It's worth putting a few dollars into your education and into your network to be able to have access to information that's going to make you way more money. It's a fucking no-brainer. You want to invest? Well, yeah, invest in your opportunity, invest in your education. So, but yeah, Bees, anything you want to start out for the people before? Anything you want to talk about real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I think we say it all the time that the market's it's too big to navigate on your own. Obviously we have a network of people that we communicate with and, we follow their trades, keep up with what they're doing. So I think whenever it's, especially right now, like now is literally the most important time ever to be taking advantage of the crypto market and to be putting yourself in the right positions because it's not a difficult thing. I think that whenever we were first getting into crypto heavily, I think that it's kind of overwhelming and you're trying to figure out how to make a wallet, you're trying to figure out how to not have your funds get lost in the ether. You're worried about all this stuff. A lot of people whenever they're first starting they tend to overtrade, so you're always just chasing that one coin that's ripping for the day. Because you guys are going to see, I mean, if you check the charts, if you go on CoinGecko, if you go on Dex Tools, Dex Screen, or whatever you use, there's always something that's just pumping unreal. And if you get caught up in that and you're always trying to chase that pump, then you're just going to end up costing yourself so much money in the long term. Because then you're going to be coping because the coin you pulled out of is now pumping. And then you're going to be trying to jump back in. You're going to be getting a worse position. So, it's super important to not be over trading right now, but it's just as important to have someone who's given you the plays that are studied, that are calculated, that are, almost not guaranteed, obviously, but in our opinion and the opinion of a lot of other people, set to do really, really well and outperform pretty much everything this cycle. So, yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to make that investment, now is by far the best time to do it. And on the grand scheme of things, what you're going to make from that money that you spend it's going to be very asymmetric. You're going to make a lot more than what you spend for sure.
It's actually undervalued, or it's underpriced right now. I mean, in terms of the value that you're going to get, is beyond underpriced, just because we're in the process of building the organization. We already have almost 400 people inside of the Taylor's Code, and it's continuing to grow. I mean, just a couple of people joined this weekend, and just to give you guys an idea in terms of what they got, just right off the bat, because I forget these things. We're doing this every single day. We understand the markets inside and out. We also understand all the logistics of how the markets work, how to get on chain and actually buy coins on chain as opposed to just using centralized exchanges. A gentleman joins this weekend, and it just reminds me how much that people don't know about what's actually going on in the crypto space. Because one of the questions he asked was, "Hey, what exchanges do you guys use? Or are there any exchanges that can use that don't have KYC, or what do you guys use to be able to buy tokens, etc." Because he was in all the classic, big mainstream tokens that are on exchanges, and I go, "Oh yeah, Uniswap, Jupiter, get on chain, buy them over here, take your money off the exchanges, put it in your wallets," and this guy's going, "Oh my god, this is amazing, thank you." And none of those decentralized exchanges that we use have KYC, so it doesn't have know your customer. You can literally get on chain, set up a wallet. No identity, no ID verification, nothing like that. Set up your MetaMask wallet. Go ahead and go to a Uniswap or a Jupiter. At no point do you have to verify your identity, and you can buy crypto. Okay, this is how we have people across the world that work with us inside the Taylor's Code, where we're able to pay them or they're able to buy crypto, even whenever they're not over 18, because there's no KYC. You go to a decentralized exchange. Yeah, don't shut us down, YouTube. But just
Study crime.
Study crime. But there's no KYC, so you can just do it, and that's why crypto is so beautiful, because it is decentralized. It can be decentralized, and when you can have an environment like that for the people, that's what makes it so sexy. Is now you don't have to worry about the government or regulations coming down and destroying you if you want to just be able to buy fucking Ethereum or Solana, right? So the value is massive. The guy already got positions. We gave him the positions to put into. We told him how to rotate out of his majors, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. Now that we're about to go into alt season, I mean, the guy's fired up. He's going to get he's going to make a bunch more money just because of the one investment he made on his own education, right? And joining the private crypto plays. So,
Yep. I think the first chart that I wanted to look at real quick, I'm not sure what all you have planned, but if you want to pull up the ETH BTC chart,
for sure.
so I think that's kind of been the main indicator that we've been following.
Yes.
And I think historically, like in 2016 and 2020, someone was talking about it this morning, but I think it's really interesting. I think it's super accurate. So I think historically in 2016 and 2020, leading into 2021, the ETH BTC chart was by far the best indicator of when altcoin season was going to begin.
Right.
Historically, that's always what we looked for. It would be Bitcoin starts the cycle. It's the tide that rises all ships. And then after, Mr. Producer.
Yeah, I got a Mr. Producer here real quick.
But then after, Bitcoin will go on a run. It'll start the cycle. It'll go into price discovery. It'll super outperform Ethereum for 1 to 2 months. Then once it starts to lose dominance, Ethereum then gets the green light to start outperforming Bitcoin, and it tends to pull all the altcoins with it. So I feel like historically that's what we've always kind of looked for. And that's what we've always, kind of based when quote unquote alt season is beginning. But someone made a good point this morning. They said that Solana now is taking up way more market cap than it ever did before. There's a lot of other L1s that are taking up a lot more market cap than they ever did before. So I think that for this cycle, it's kind of starting it. But I think for other cycles in the future, other charts are going to be more important to look at and follow than ETH BTC. Because I think now, Ethereum is definitely growing as an asset. And I think that now that it's a lot more mature and it had, ETFs approved for it, same as Bitcoin did, it's able to perform at the same time as Bitcoin doing well. And I also think that altcoins are able to perform very well. I mean, we've seen, Landwolf, Pepe, Brett, Andy, these main coins that we're prioritizing right now still do multiple X's, even with Ethereum not performing all that great. So I think it's a good sign for Ethereum long term. I think that it's showing that it's maturing as an asset,
Mm-hmm.
that it's able to still perform at the same time as Bitcoin. It doesn't have to just kind of sit on its hands and wait for Bitcoin to start losing dominance to actually perform well. So that's just my opinion. I think from this chart, like I don't think we're really going to see Ethereum super outperform Bitcoin this cycle. I mean, I'm sure it's going to hit range tops.
Right.
It's going to hit range highs here at least, which I think would be like a 3x
Right.
from where it's at right now. Which if we can get a 3x on ETH BTC, the coins that we're in are going to do
Fucking unbelievable.
yeah, at least 10x on every single one. Um, yeah, be about a 3x, almost a 3x on ETH BTC. But yeah, that's just something I think is really important to know because I think that if you were just following the ETH BTC chart and you were basing your entry into altcoins off of the ETH BTC chart, like people have done historically,
Right.
you would have missed out on so much money already this
Right.
cycle. And I think you would continue to miss out on more over the next few weeks and months while ETH isn't super outperforming Bitcoin yet.
Right.
Um, so I think that's important to know for this cycle. And I think it's going to be important moving forward too.
Yeah. And so the reason that we're looking at this, like Logan was saying, is this is essentially the alt season indicator, this chart. And for those of you that don't really understand what this is Ethereum divided by Bitcoin. So essentially, whenever this chart goes up, that means Ethereum is a better hold than Bitcoin. If you're holding Ethereum, you're making more money as if you are holding Bitcoin. Whenever this chart goes down, that means Bitcoin is a better hold than Ethereum. Okay. And so the reason this chart's so important in crypto and people pay attention to this is because there are very rare periods where Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. Typically, Bitcoin's going to outperform Ethereum, as you guys can see with this chart. So over time, you see a lot more downtrending as opposed to the short spikes of the Ethereum pumps. Okay, so whenever these big pumps happen, right? You see here January 18. You see back here in June 17, which of course is the last bull run. And then this pump over here, which is of course May 21, which is the last bull run, and December 21 in the last bull run. So all those four tops on ETH BTC, where Ethereum was the best, a better hold over Bitcoin, those were your alt seasons for those cycles. That it calls them perfectly. And the reason this is the oscillator for that is because if Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, then that means all the money, not all of it, but a lot of the liquidity in Bitcoin is now rotating into smaller assets, the altcoins. And so the whole concept of why we're buying these ETH beta plays, these meme coins on Ethereum, is because we're betting on the fact that at some point Ethereum is going to greatly outperform Bitcoin. If Ethereum is greatly outperforming Bitcoin, then our leveraged bets on Ethereum are even going to outperform Ethereum, right? So we're basically just looking for the most multiples humanly possible beta to Ethereum. That's the mindset. That's the goal here. So basically what we've been doing now since the last bull runs is we've just been downtrending perpetually for the past 3 years, right? So from this November 21, December 21 high, ETH BTC has been trending down, right? You guys see that downtrend. So the reason we front ran this move, the reason that we loaded up on altcoins this past year and a half is because number one, they still went up. So we still got multiples on our altcoins that outperformed Bitcoin if you pick the good beams. But number two, because we want to front run this move. This is the move that Logan was talking about that we're waiting for. I actually got a, let me see. All right here.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, I think that usually like you see in 2016, 2017 during the Bitcoin having the first, real bull run, Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin dramatically for a short period of time. And then Bitcoin outperformed Ethereum for a much longer period of time. And in 2021, there was that period of time where everything went insane. I mean, ETH BTC did, I mean, I can't tell exactly, but I mean, it looks like it did a 3 to 4x, and people who were invested in the right altcoins made, gorillions.
Right.
But then you see it wasn't a dramatic fall off of Ethereum performance for the next 3.5 years. It just kind of ranged down. So I do think that on this chart, yeah, I think that breakout move right there is almost exactly what we're going to see. We're going to continue to range down a little bit, but while Bitcoin's still moving. But yeah, I mean, I think if we can get back up to range highs, if we can do another 3x on this chart,
Right.
the altcoins are going to perform incredibly well. But yeah, I don't think that I don't think it's going to be like it has been in the past where Ethereum just kind of jumps off a cliff, which I think is good for us. I mean, number one, it shows that people are gaining a lot more confidence in Ethereum long term. It's not just a short term thing where it's like a rotational play. I also think it's going to make it a lot easier for actually exiting the market at the end of the bull run because you're not going to have to try and super, super accurately time the Pico top
Right.
because it's not just going to be a dramatic fall off.
Right.
I think that it's going to be a lot more of a phase out kind of end of the bull run. And I think that Ethereum is going to hold its price a lot better and its performance a lot better than it did previously.
Right. And what you're saying is correct too. Even if we just get back to the range highs, if we just even touch the previous top in December of 2021, then we're at 0.09. If we get to the top back in 2018 January, so end of 2017, we'd be at 0.11. So realistically, yeah, you're right. We're probably only really going to make it towards the 0.09, or if we're really lucky, maybe the 0.1. But even just that, like you said, in and of itself is going to be huge. Because if you guys, again, understand, this is not ETH compared to US dollars, right? So in this chart, it's not showing just the price of Ethereum going up. It's showing that the price of Ethereum going up way faster than the price of Bitcoin going up. So it's more significant, this chart. This chart moving up, blasting off, hitting these blow off tops is way more significant than even just ETH USD itself getting blow off tops. So so if we get back to 0.09, our meme coins are going to go fucking ballistic because yeah, Ethereum's going to be at $12, $13, $14,000 per Ethereum, but if we're outperforming Bitcoin, then that means that rotation into these altcoins and these meme coins is going to be massive. And what was the other point you were making about Ethereum? Oh, the other thing with this cycle too, that's going to be so interesting to see how it plays out and why I'm extremely bullish on how this next Q1 is going to go is Ethereum does have an ETF now. So like you said, people aren't going to be cheating Ethereum to the level that they have in the past because TradFi is invested in Ethereum. Now they're putting billions and billions of dollars into the Ethereum asset and companies, large U.S. companies are building on Ethereum as opposed to Solana. So Solana will probably get further adopted on the next cycle, and they'll start making ETFs for Solana, XRP, those other majors. But right now, it's pretty clear they're invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So the money will rotate into Ethereum. Once all these TradFi guys start taking profits on their Bitcoin and they're up, 1.5, 2x, 3x on all their ETF money, they're going to start rotating that into Ethereum. So that's where I see there could be a potential for us to go even higher than what we did in December of 21 in the last bull run. Raising maybe we could get back to at least 0.11 potentially, is just because there is way more liquidity in Ethereum now. That's just the reality of it, is there's just way more money now that will rotate from Bitcoin into Ethereum. The one other point I'll make too that I never really hear people talk about this. I mean, I always hear about wealth effect, and people talk about the wealth effect and why if Bitcoin and Ethereum goes up a shit ton, all that money is going to trickle down into our other coins. But now that TradFi is involved in the markets, yes, we have TradFi liquidity now. Now, is TradFi themselves going to rotate out of Bitcoin and Ethereum into altcoins? No, they themselves won't rotate their own money into altcoins necessarily. On an individual level, probably, but on an institutional level, they can't. It would just be Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, but what's going to happen is, what about all the other people that hold Bitcoin and Ethereum that aren't TradFi? They're going to be getting rich as shit off of all that money coming in through the ETFs on their coins, and they're going to be the ones who rotate into altcoins. So that extra liquidity, even though the financial institutions themselves won't be rotating their money into alts, but the wealth effect that they create for everybody else is going to impact our altcoins further than what it had in the past. So that's what I'm looking forward to and seeing, like, okay, what's that really going to look like now that Michael Saylor's bought, $1 trillion worth of fucking Bitcoin, and Microsoft and Apple and all these companies start dumping money into Bitcoin. More governments, potentially the United States government, whenever Trump gets in, starts dumping money into Bitcoin. That wealth effect for everybody else is going to be outrageous, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. And I think, yeah, just with Ethereum, the thing I keep thinking about is, if you look back at people's tweets from, because I did this the other day, I was looking back at people's tweets, just people who were really in the crypto space in 2016, 2017, and then in 2020, 2021. Every single time, it's kind of like the whole, people say that every generation thinks that their generation is going to be the last.
Right.
Everyone always thinks it's going to be the end. Both cycles before, they thought that it was just going to be a Bitcoin only cycle,
Right.
because Bitcoin started off super, super outperforming everything else. And they're like, okay, everyone's obsessed with Bitcoin. That's what this cycle is going to be. And so this isn't the first time. I think a lot of people are in that headspace right now where they do think this is just going to be a Bitcoin party and everyone's just going to be obsessed with it. It's going to top out, eventually, roll over, and then that's going to be it. But people have always thought that from these previous cycles. And I think now the fact that, yeah, there's ETFs for Ethereum, there's a lot more institutional money in there. Like you said, there's a lot of corporations and companies that are building on the Ethereum blockchain, that they're not going to allow Bitcoin to be trading, 50, 60% above range highs, where Ethereum is still below range highs. I mean, what did Ethereum top out at back in like March of
This year?
Yeah. So I think that's
4,000.
Yeah. So it's like that was the range high from the past, the 9 months of hell range that we've been dealing with this entire year.
Mm-hmm.
So Ethereum is still, 20% below range highs. And with all this government money and all this institutional money that's on the chain, and how much people have on the line and how much people have invested, they're not going to allow Ethereum for the rest of the cycle to be that outperformed. So it's going to happen. It's the same kind of headspace, the same Bitcoin euphoria that's happened in both cycles previously. And I was talking to my dad about that actually over the weekend. He was looking at some of the altcoins bleeding, and he was telling me that maybe he wanted to take some profit on his wallet and just kind of sit out for a little bit, jump back in eventually if it makes sense to do so. And then I sent him, the charts for the whole boys club, and I sent him the chart for Ethereum too. And I said, do you see the correlation here? I said, we haven't even seen a move on Ethereum yet. And with how much is on the line for these companies that are invested in Ethereum, they're not going to allow this to continue. So yeah, I think it's just important to know that people have felt the same fear in the past. It happens every time, but Ethereum is going to come around, and it's just a matter of time.
It's such a good point that you brought up about your dad trying to take profits early, because that's going to happen to so many people this bull run if they don't have the understanding of the markets that we do, where they're not obviously dealing with people like ourselves in our private chats, where we're going through the data and understanding when things actually will cool off. People are going to take profits so early. It was funny, I had some people in the comment section on one of the videos I got uploaded on the channel trying to talk shit about how, they're not early, or we're not early, da, da, da. It's late in the cycle, not understanding at all that, first of all, even for something like Pepe, we are early, because Pepe still has another 10x in it. Okay, Pepe is what, $7 billion market cap right now.
Mm-hmm.
Doge is at like 70 billion right now. You're telling me Pepe can't do a 10x and flip Doge at some point this cycle? 10x is early. If you still have a 10x in a play, that's early. Where else are you going to get a 10x in any kind? Okay, in that case, then you're too late for S&P 500. You're too late for the regular legacy markets. You're too late. You're too late for everything. You're too late for gold, silver. So you're saying 10x is not early? Okay, then there's no point of investing then. Why get a 10x then? No, yeah, you're early, bro. Pepe is at a $76 billion market cap. Doge went to 95 billion 4 years ago. You're telling me we're not early? And that's because they don't have the context of the markets that we do. Ethereum's $3,400 right now. March, it was at 4,000. Its previous all-time high was about 5,000. Well, the way that cycles goes, once Ethereum gets in the price discovery, it's going to do at least a 2 to 3x what it did previously. So ETH is at $3,400 right now. I confidently can almost say with a guarantee that it's going to be over 10,000 at the very least by the end of the cycle. So you're telling me at $10,000 Ethereum, our boys club memes aren't going to go fucking parabolic? It's like our memes performed well whenever ETH BTC was in a perpetual downtrend. What happens whenever ETH BTC is starting to pump? ETH is outperforming Bitcoin, and now our meme coins, what are they going to do? They were doing well whenever it was down only. Now imagine whenever it's up only. It's going to be insane. So,
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, I think something that's important to remember too is every single cycle as we move forward, there's going to be more quote unquote retail people that are early adopters for the retail just because they maybe invested a little bit in previous cycles. So those people, even though there's a lot of that money coming in right now, like, whenever Pepe got listed to Coinbase and Robinhood, you saw a lot of retail money obviously pour into those or pour into Pepe. And I mean, it did, a 2x in the matter of like 2 days, or went up, 70% in the matter of 2 days. So there are going to be retail people in every single cycle moving forward. There's always going to be more retail people who are kind of early adopters that are getting involved just because, like all the people who bought Dogecoin last cycle. I think I mentioned it to you.
yep.
They had the notifications going off on their phone. Dogecoin's back above 15 cents. Dogecoin's back above 20 cents. So all those people that invested before probably lost money in the previous cycle or maybe made a little bit. Now they're coping and they're having to jump back in, or maybe they just left the money in there before because retail tends to hold forever. I think one, because they have unbelievable price targets because they don't understand how market cap works.
Right.
Like they're expecting Pepe to go to $1 this cycle, which is like a 500x. So they don't understand how market cap works. So they have these ridiculous price targets and then they never end up selling. The other thing is I think a lot of the times they don't know how to sell,
Right.
Especially if they're using like a MetaMask wallet or something where they have to go on an exchange, go onto Uniswap and swap their tokens, or if they buy Brett and they're on the base chain and they don't know how to get it back into Ethereum and they don't know how to sell, they don't know how to bridge. But my point is a lot of those people who are kind of early adopters in the retail market this cycle, they don't realize, how early they are this time, because last cycle they got in probably in April, May. I mean, that's where I got in last cycle.
Oh.
So they got in April, May, saw it go up maybe a 2x because they got in so fucking late. And now they don't realize how much earlier they are this time around because they don't know how the cycles work. And so they're going to, you're going to see a lot of people in retail maybe taking some profit super early on.
Yep.
Like people that got the notification Dogecoin was above 15 cents, went up to 30 cents. They sold. Now it's at like 45 cents. And now they're going to be coping and jumping back in. So I think we're going to kind of see that the next few weeks and over the holiday is some of those early adopters who don't really know what's going on pulling out. And then later in the cycle, February, March, once Ethereum really starts cruising, they start getting the notifications on their phone again. They're going to be coping and you're going to see a wave of that early adopter retail money flowing back into these coins.
Yep. And so this is how you know that shit's starting to heat up, because if you look at the majors from last bull run that ran, right now you're seeing those coins lead. So for example, Bitcoin ripping, Ethereum got up 10.5% in the last 7 days. If you look at XRP is up 25% in the last 7 days. XRP is an $83.5 billion market cap, 83.5 billion. It went up 25% in the last 7 days. So
Click on that chart.
Yeah. All right, I have the chart right here.
What is it up over the what's it up over the past month?
Yeah, that's a good question. past month, 30 days, almost 200%, 3x.
Yeah.
So XRP is up 3x. So if it's 80 billion right now, so what, 25, 30ish, a little bit under 30 billion
Yeah.
was what it was, is what it was at.
So it's like if you guys, for anyone that's watching that's invested in Pepe right now, which I'm assuming most of you guys probably are based off of the way we invest.
Right.
So if you guys are in Pepe, and honestly, if you bought it back whenever we were preaching about it, you would have gotten it probably around a $3 to $4 billion market cap.
Right.
And there was $50 billion of, market cap that went into, or $50 billion that flowed into XRP just in the past 30 days.
Right.
That same $50 billion investment goes into Pepe over the next 4 to 5 months, whenever Ethereum's really starting to ramp up. I mean, that puts Pepe at 58 billion. If you would have bought it back whenever we were preaching about it, you're up 12 to 15x just on Pepe. And that's that's the largest market cap boys club member out of any of them. So for the other ones, it's going to be even easier. I mean,
Yep.
Land Wolf, I think right now is at like $130 million market cap.
Yep.
I mean, if we can get that thing to, 1.5 to 2 billion this cycle, which is nothing compared to what these other coins are doing. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna you're early. Like you're early to the meme coins because so the point I was making about XRP is you're seeing these dino coins from the previous cycle start to pump. That's the sign that retail and TradFi and these bigger investors are starting to get back into the cryptocurrency market. So what you see is in the current bull run, you're going to see the big coins from the previous bull run first because those are the ones that people are familiar with. Those are the ones that retail are familiar with. So you're seeing Dogecoin go from a $20 billion market cap to 60 billion, 65 billion in the matter of weeks. XRP go from 30 billion to 83 billion, 82 billion in the matter of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Billions and billions and billions of dollars. Just like that. Think about how easy they're moving. Just boom, quick, couple weeks. Pepe, the largest meme coin from this bull run, this current cycle, the number one, this is going to be the Doge this cycle. It's only at 8 billion. That shit's going to rip to 50, 60, 70 billion just like that. Because as soon as people start getting more familiar with Pepe and that the money starts rotating out of Bitcoin, Ethereum, the larger coins into these memes as people become more educated and they find out about Pepe. Pepe is already on Coinbase. Pepe is already on Robinhood. It already did the hard part. Now it's just you're going to see money rotate into that because people are going to try to get more multiples and get more profit. So Pepe is going to rip fucking face.
yeah. And I think the super important thing to remember with Pepe too is right now, even though it's down, a little bit in the past week or so, I think it's down, 10% from the all-time high, which came after the euphoria set in right after the Coinbase listing. So this happens every single time a meme coin gets listed to major exchanges. It has a huge pump, which you saw there like November 14th, November 15th, right when it got listed to tier 1 exchanges.
Yep.
Huge pump. Everyone's fired up about it. You have a little bit of a cool off because all the people that had bought in before the major pump that don't understand how this works sold instantly. So you have a little bit of a cool off. It bleeds for a couple weeks, and then that's when it fucking sends. But the really important thing is right now, Pepe is still kind of hovering around all-time highs. So the majority of people that are holding Pepe are in profit.
Exactly.
Probably 90 to 95% of people holding Pepe are in profit right now. Where with something like Dogecoin or something like XRP, these coins that have been around for a long time and performed really well last cycle, there's a lot of old holders that are still in that coin at a loss. Like the people who bought the fucking top for XRP in the past, the people who bought the absolute top for Dogecoin in the past that are just still holding because they've just been down only since they bought.
Right.
There's still a lot of people that are trying to get out of those coins. Just, they just want to break even because they've been down money on that shit for 4 years, 3 years. So I think that's something that's really important to keep in mind with Pepe is, it still has a great feel around it, still has a great cult, great culture. It's super, super popular meme. And really importantly, almost everyone's in profit right now. So no one has that kind of urge to cheat it once it pumps, like they probably do with XRP and Doge, because they've been down only for 3 years.
Right. And you see with Pepe, it's just all it is just building short to go ahead and build and go long. It's just in a bull flag right now. It's literally just compressing, boom, 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 and then you're gonna see what happens once this thing starts to go like this. It's just gonna go like that, and it's gonna take its next leg higher. So
Yeah.
yeah, Pepe's. I mean, the shit, dude. This thing is fucking. You're early, and if you compare it to something like Dogecoin, if we pull up Doge on a panel below, it's trading so closely to how Doge had in the past. So let me do spot crypto. Oh, you
Well, I think
bastards.
too that with I think every cycle there's been kind of a chosen coin.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, obviously last cycle it was Doge and SHIB were the two that just fucking went ballistic and got super popular. So I think that it's just so unbelievably obvious this cycle that Pepe is the chosen coin.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it's still early.
So if we do, I'm gonna have to prepare a chart like this for the next stream because I want to show it. But basically, I mean, you see right now they're printing the same structure in the sense that they pumped up, consolidated. Now Doge took its little next leg up, pulled back a little bit. Doge will rip first, and then you'll see Pepe go. But Pepe is basically following the same pump that Dogecoin had, years ago back in 2021. Pepe is following the same type of movement, signifying that it is the Dogecoin of this cycle. And so something that we're going to be paying attention to is whenever something like Pepe does eventually flip Doge this cycle, which I believe it will, that's when you're going to know, okay, we're probably fucking topping right now because Pepe just flipped Doge. Probably full stack Jeet, sell your bags, let's get the fuck out the market. But something like that's going to happen eventually. Mark my words. Pepe will eventually flip Doge this cycle, and Brett, Andy, Wolf will have gone absolutely ballistic because those are all the betas to Pepe, and Pepe being the beta to Ethereum. So, yeah, I mean, you're still looking good. This is just building its next leg up. Pepe's still holding there. Brett is doing the same thing. They're all just building these little fucking bull flags just like this, right? And you're just seeing it. All they're doing is building like this to go long, right? Building short to go long. We were looking at time ranges over here in terms of
Yeah,
the
because I
pumps.
mean, retail that's jumping into these coins. I mean, they want to have fun. They want to buy into something that they can understand, something that they can believe in. They want to feel like they're a part of something.
Right.
And I mean, the boys club narrative is just we've said it since the beginning. Whenever we found out about the whole boys club narrative, um, we've been all in on it since the jump.
Since the jump.
Since the beginning of the year. Um, so yeah, I mean, the fact that Pepe is getting so much exposure is just so huge for the rest of the members. Because yeah, right now the only one that's listed tier one exchanges is obviously Pepe, and eventually, people are going to find out about the other members. They're going to find out that it's a whole club,
Right.
and the wealth effect. Like once we start to realize, okay, Pepe is probably topping out. Like you said, once it's getting close to Dogecoin level market cap, it's up 60, 70 billion, $80 billion market cap this cycle. And we're like, okay, this thing's probably starting to peak out. People that make money on it, and almost everyone will that gets involved in it, they're going to be looking for the next high. It's just like people who gamble.
Right.
um, they don't, historically, people don't really take gambling winnings and just put it into their bank account and then live with it. It starts to kind of burn a hole in their pocket. So they need something else to cycle that money into. And what's going to be the better thing to put that money into than the other members that are a part of the same narrative? Um, so I do think that personally, I think that Pepe leading and outperforming the rest of the boys club members, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I think it'd be great to see. And I think it's probably going to be more of an important indicator than ETH BTC chart, in my opinion.
Right.
I think Pepe outperforming everything at first is going to be the best indicator that the rest of the boys club members are about to catch on fire. More important than I think it's going to be ETH outperforming Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah, and it's going to be huge because you're going to see that rotation from I mean, think about the wealth effect that's going to happen from Pepe and Brett this cycle. I mean, the wealth effect already happened on Pepe and Brett. People got fucking rich off of those 2 coins. So, like you said, the next logical position to take is Andy and Land Wolf, but we're already positioned ahead of time so that we're going to catch those moves whenever they happen. The other thing, too, is with Andy and Land Wolf, because they're such small market caps compared to Pepe and Brett, they're also going to gain market share on those two. So if Pepe pulls a 10x from where it's at right now, which I believe it will, Andy's going to pull a 20x. Wolf's going to pull a 25x, right? Excuse me. They're going to gain market share on Pepe and on Brett just due to the sheer size that Brett and Pepe are compared to Andy and Wolf, right? It takes a lot less money to move Andy and Land Wolf than it would to take to move a Pepe or a Brett. So that's why people who don't have these multi-million-dollar positions they're trying to build, the reason you buy beta, the reason you don't buy Bitcoin is because you're going to be able to outsize your returns very nicely on these small beta plays without having the issue of liquidity, without having the issue of, oh, is there enough money in this LP to be able to go ahead and get my position out without destroying the chart? No, if you have 10 grand, if you have 20 grand, if you have 50 grand, you put that in Land Wolf or Andy because you're not going to have liquidity issues. And then you're going to get a 10 or you're going to get a 20, 25x on your 50 grand. The only reason somebody would stray away from a Land Wolf or an Andy is if you do have $10 million liquid that you're trying to get a 3, 4, 5, 10x on. You got to put that into Pepe because Pepe is going to actually give you, number one, a good, you're going to get a good fill on that $10 million. But number two, whenever that 10 million turns into 100 million, you can actually exit with that money. You can't put $10 million into Andy without pumping the price up on yourself. And then once it actually goes up, however many multiples it's going to go up, you're going to have a tough time getting that money out, right? So again, if you have small bags relative to what you're trying to invest into, that's why you go further down the risk curve so you can make multiples on your money. And then what do you do at the end of the cycle? Then you take all that money that you made and now you rotate that back into Bitcoin.
Yeah. And I think something that's really important for everyone to remember too is even for these smaller market cap coins, the charts, people need to know that everything in crypto is heavily, heavily manipulated. So nothing like even for Bitcoin and Ethereum, even though they're massive, massive market cap coins, something like Bitcoin to move the chart on Bitcoin, it takes millions and millions, if not billions of dollars to actually make that chart move. And the companies that have positions large enough to actually be able to move the chart, nothing that they do is just on a will or on a whim or based off of emotion. Everything is intentional. So any of the pullbacks that you guys see on Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's all intentional. Like that's why I think that over trading is so stupid, because any of the pullbacks that are happening, it's not like, oh, this shit's over, pack it up, let's go home. The pullbacks that are happening are being manipulated by people who have way fucking bigger positions than you. And they're doing it intentionally because they know if they sell off a big chunk of their, not even a big chunk, if they sell off a small portion of their position, even something like Brett, for instance, you know, it's a $1.5, almost $2 billion market cap coin. Someone who has a multi-million dollar position in Brett, someone like Crash, which obviously Crash, you know, he doesn't sell any of his position.
Right.
But if he wanted to, you know, let's say he has another $5 million that he wants to put into Brett. He's not just going to full clip $5 million into Brett and spike the price up, you know, 5 cents on himself, because then he's just being a dumbass. What he's going to do is he's going to sell off some of his position because number one, he's in huge profit already.
Right.
So he can sell some. It's already a 50x for him. He has no problem taking some profit. But whenever he sells a fairly sized amount of his bag, that price starts to fall off. All the people who are in profit, or, you know, maybe they're teetering around break even, they see the chart go red. As soon as people see red on a chart, they want to get out. Mm-hmm. You know, they want to sell. They think it's over. So then it just, you know, it exacerbates that move and makes it, you know, the 1 or 2% that he tanked the chart. Now everyone else is jumping on the train and they send it down another 10%, 12%. Now he's like, okay, great. Now I can buy back in. This is the entry that I'm looking for. Let me put all my money back in. And that's what these guys do with Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's where you guys see these ranges that are trending down. They're just bringing the price down so that they can sweep all those lows,
Yep.
get great positions, great entries on the coin that they want to get into. And then that's where you'll see these, like he drew there, that bull flag
Yep.
turn into, where they send it long.
Yep.
Um, so just remember that everything's manipulated. When you guys see red, honestly, that's the time to buy. When it's in a bull market and we get pullbacks and you guys get blessed with good entries, take advantage of it because it's not an accident. It's happening intentionally, and these people, you need to get the entries that they're creating. So I just think that's important to remember.
Ollie asked in the chat, how do I make sure I buy the correct land wolf whenever I go to buy a coin? I've showed it before. It's always the contract address is on CoinGecko. So if it's on CoinGecko, you can just come get the contract address down here. Contract, boom, right here. Okay. And whenever you're on Dex Screener and things like that as well, if you're on the correct coin, you're going to be able to just copy the contract address. Okay. So yeah, you just come to CoinGecko. It's right here. Or you go to Dex Screener if it's a small cap that's not on CoinGecko yet. Then you go to Dex Screener and then you use the contract address on Dex Screener. So
Yeah, and I think too, if you're already holding it in your wallet, if you go into Etherscan and you type in your wallet address, you'll see your transactions and you'll see your tokens in there, and then you can copy paste it from Etherscan too if you're already holding the token.
there you go. Perfect. So there you go, Ollie. I just want to show this real quick on Solana before we go, and then we'll get out of here. So like I was saying, like Logan was saying, these bull flags, all these are playing out right now because we're in a bull market. So you see literally the same structure getting printed on all these large caps. It's just fucking leg up. We consolidate. We're building down to then we're building short to go ahead and send long. Okay. So all these bull flags are playing out right now. This is why whenever you draw these structures, it's funny how these trend lines get respected. As soon as you close outside of the bull flag, bang, then you get a pump. It's just literally what's happening on all these structures. By the way, guys, like, comment, subscribe, like the stream so we can get this content out to other people as well. Continue to grow the organization. The more of us that we have, the better that our trading is going to be, the more money that we're going to make, because more eyes on the market is beneficial for everybody. So like the stream if you haven't already liked the stream. So hit us with the like. So Solana breaks out of this bull flag, and then I just randomly drew that fib on here. It was the first time I drew it, but it's funny how perfectly fibs work. So I built it, or I draw the fib from the top of the range to the bottom of the range, and then look how these large caps respect these fibs. Look, literally to the fucking penny. I mean, dude, just
Banged its head.
yeah, it's the fibs play. Fibs play. So what happened is you get the breakout. We hit the fib, and then people start to take profit. Now, we're not going to necessarily take profit on stuff like this because we know it's going to go higher, but these fibs literally play so well. It's hilarious. So we come back down here. So we'll probably do something like this week, start coming back up, and then you're going to see us boom up here. So the next level or target I would look at for Solana is going to be right at $351. And by the end of this cycle, I see Sol going up to, I think it'll go more than $500. So this fib will end up drawing a new range probably on the next pullback, which will probably be around beginning of January. Whenever we get that pullback on Bitcoin, we range for a little bit. We'll draw new fibs from that range, and then we'll see where it takes us from there. But I see Solana going over $500 a cycle for sure. So yeah, Sol's just getting started. We hit that first fib. We'll probably hit 351, then probably at 351. We'll probably consolidate and create a new range up here. We'll draw new fibs, then that can take us up to $500, $600. So, but I mean, the TA works, gentlemen. You just got to understand what you're looking at and the environment that we're in. Now, are we holding Solana? No, but we're going to be holding meme coins on Solana. So obviously, as the price of Solana goes up, it's the same thing as Ethereum. It's going to appreciate all of our assets on Solana. So, but yeah, Sol's got to go. Sol's going to go much higher, and it's not even at the all-time high right now. It's all-time high was what, 257, 260, something like that. So Sol's going to do multiples above its previous all-time high too. Like, you got to understand, these coins aren't just going to go a little bit over their previous all-time high. No, they're going to do multiples. Okay, so Sol will go much higher.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, with that bull flag that you drew there, I think it's like the people who are going to make money in the cycle are the people that know where we're at cyclically right now. And they know, like, in that bull flag, the people who are making money are the people who have a sack in that entire bull flag. They're buying all of those lows. So, it pumps up. People think, oh, we're tapped out here. It's over. They start packing it up. They sell for a little bit of profit. It pulls back 25, 30%. And the people that are making money this entire cycle, they know we're in a bull run. They buy that low. And then it
Yep.
pumps up again. People, they sell, whatever, they panic. They're not thinking logically. Pulls back again another 20%. They buy the low again. Then it pulls back. They buy the low again. And then eventually it inevitably sends. Um, and then they'll probably take some profits at the fib if they're playing the fibs,
Right.
and then they'll wait for the next low to sweep, and they'll just play the lows all cycle. So yeah, it's just not being afraid to buy on the chart when it's red.
Right.
You can't keep buying on greens. Everyone wants to buy when there's excitement, when there's euphoria and everything's cruising. And I've been there myself. At the beginning of the cycle, that's definitely how I was. I'd say, oh man, I wish I bought X coin at Y price, and then X coin would go to Y price, and I'd be like, oh, I don't know, I think it might be done. um, so yeah, it's just having confidence in where we're at in the cycle, knowing over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, all the coins we're talking to you guys about, they're all going to go up over time. It's just having confidence and having the sack to buy the
Exactly.
lows. Don't buy a green chart. Don't chase the pump.
Normies love green dildos. They love aping into green dildos. And then, but the professionals understand that that's what you sell into. You sell into green, you buy into red, right? That's that classic meme that I sent you a few times of the guy who said, it's a picture of a dude, some fucking normie, and the price of Bitcoin is $80,000. He's like, oh fuck, I should have bought at 60K. Then Bitcoin pulls back to 60K, and then the meme goes, the same guy says, oh, I'm not buying that shit.
Yeah.
And then the next one is Bitcoin at 85K. Fuck, I should have bought Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's classic. When it's red, yeah, that sentiment's bad. Nobody wants to buy it. But that's how you make money. You buy it when nobody wants it, so it costs less, and then you sell it whenever everybody wants it because it costs more. So you got to change. Yeah, there's people that are new in these markets. That's how you get fucking destroyed, is because you think like everybody else. And this is why most people are poor. Most people stay broke. Most people don't have success because they think how everybody else thinks. You got to change the way that you think about this stuff. And this is why you guys show up every single Monday to see this, is because we're showing you how to look at it from a data perspective, from a realistic, a logical perspective. How can you actually make money? How can you buy it when it's red, when it's low, whenever everybody thinks it's over, but you be confident that it's not over and it's actually going to be at a higher price in a couple of months from now? You have to have the foresight to be able to make money. And so that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is that we do.
And that's why I think over trading is just, you have to avoid it at all costs this cycle. Because right now, yeah, you're in a point where if you're following our plays, these plays are going to go up over time. There's always going to be certain coins that are outperforming on any given day. But if you guys, yeah, you chase the green candles, then you're going to do it the entire cycle. And I mean, Priamo and I we got wrapped up into that a little bit in the Sol Casino. So if you guys know anything about Solana, the swap fees and the gas fees are super cheap. So those coins are extremely volatile because there's no negative to buying and selling. So like with Ethereum, whenever the Ethereum network's popping, the gas fees are 40, 50, 60, $70 per transaction. People are a lot more inclined to buy and hold.
Yeah.
Whereas base chain, Solana chain, there's no repercussions to just buying and selling. So these coins will fucking pump so hard. I mean, they'll pump up hundreds of millions of dollars over the matter of a day or two. And then you'll see the exact opposite. Yeah. People jeet, people be buying and selling. And we were doing that. We were chasing pumps on Sol. And yeah, you just, whenever you sell one, you jump into the other that's flying. That one starts to roll over. And then the one that you sold starts outperforming and flying. And you're trying to chase it again. And you just end up losing money. So buy the lows, buy the red days, have confidence where we're at in the cycle, have confidence in the plays we're putting you guys into. And yeah, let's make some money.
Let's make some fucking money, gentlemen. Guys, link to the Taylor's code is in the description. Get inside if you're not already. Like on the stream, comment on the stream. Me and Bauer got to get the hell out of here. But there you go. I mean, we're literally putting generational wealth into your lap. It's not financial advice, but we are putting it into your lap. So just want to make sure I throw that out there.
The bull run's not over.
And you are early. Don't listen to the fucking morons that are saying, oh, you can only get a 10 to 15 to 20x. You're not early. Fucking what?
Don't fade TC.
So you're telling me you can put 10 grand and pull out 100 grand and you're not early? Shut the fuck up.
Don't fade TC.
Yeah, don't fade, gentlemen. All right. So we got 6 live viewers. We're about to pop off right now. That 6th viewer just fucking cheated themselves. All right.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a good one. Peace. Hold on. Stream ending. Mr. Producer. Da, da.